Hello and thank you for joining us. We are broadcasting live from our ZTN studios in Harare, Zimbabwe's capital. My name is Munasha Mukahlira and this program is brought to you by Zimpapers Television Network in partnership with Women Reform Network. Today's topic of discussion is March 23 by-elections. Are female candidates ready? Now, Zimbabwe is approaching two significant elections. That is, the first are the by-elections on the 23rd of March to fill 133 vacant seats in the National Assembly and various local authorities across the country. Now, the second are the national harmonized elections to be held in 2023, and of course, the date hasn't been set yet. So, to discuss this issue further, I am joined in studio by some female aspiring political candidates. That is Betty Nambu from ZANU-PF and Fatima Madamombe from MDC Alliance. We will be joined shortly by Susan Matsunga from the Citizens Coalition for Change, just to continue with our discussion. Now, to kickstart our discussion, I'll start with you, Fatima. My first question is, could you just probably start by sharing with us your experiences during this campaign period towards the March 23 by-elections?
Thank you. Yeah, the campaign is going on very well. Nothing is very wrong, I can say. No violence. People, we are campaigning peacefully, even meeting each other in the road there. No one is disturbing anyone. We are putting off our posters, our flyers. We are doing it in the spirit of peace.
That is good. Maybe just general sentiments from Anumuma communities. Varukutichi in terms of campaigning by elections. Varukuzivere shurukite kama communities.
Yes, varukuziva. But kazhinji ma comments and kunyanywana ndeyekuti tinokupai vote redu, but you don't even come back to us. Tozokuonai futi next time maakuda futi vote. So kuti vamwe vanobva kudedza kuti come here, garai apa. Tell us kuti kana mukazoenda kwatinenge takuvhoterai, are you going to remember us? Ndo zvizhinji zviri kunyanya kutaurwa. Vamwe ndo vanoti you people munongoda kuzviitira zvinhu zvenyu. Mukati takupai mavhotsi edu, mukange mawana zvinhu zvenyu, mukawana mota dzenyu, mukawana mari dzenyu, then you are happy with that. Musingazive kuti isitaka contribute pahappiness yamunenge manayo. That's what they are saying.
All right, I'll come back to you in a bit. Probably, Betty, if you could also just highlight your experiences in the build-up towards the March 23 by-elections.
All right, thank you very much. The campaign is going on very well, and people are very happy that we are going for a by-election, and I'm sure they are also happy that they are going to vote for someone whom they know that can deliver, because there are some challenges that people have been highlighting in the community and also during the campaign awareness which we were doing. So the experience so far is people are ready, and they really want to put someone who they know can represent them, and someone who they know that will be with them all the times. They are fed up of voting for people who take the votes and then voenda voregera kuzodzoka ku community. So I'm sure the people from Kuadzana constituency, they are very happy that there's going to be a by-election.
Okay. All right, fair and fine. We obviously, our topic of discussion today is mainly focusing on your experiences as female candidates in this by-election. So probably Takambo Tauda about how it has been in terms of reception, kuma communities vanar kutambra kuti mukadzi, or there's still a bit of question marks kuti how do we do it in this way, or we probably used to having males dominating. Are you having any challenges with that?
Yes, that one is a big challenge. With men, they don't really understand that women who can deliver. They think they are the only people who can deliver, and because of that, they just look us down. Havambonyatsoti simudziro kuti nzwisa kuti tiri vakadzi. Vamwewo ndo vaiva vane vada kutoziva kuti mburani, wakawanikwa nani, uri kugara kupi, unomboitei. if you are married, can we have your husband here so that he can say, yes, I've nod that I've allowed you to do that. Still, that culture of being a woman is under a man, and a man must approve everything a woman do, is still with our people. So because of that, they start even to look at how you dress, how you talk. Even if you laugh, they want to see how you smile. Is it decent? Is it still you? They used to know, oh yeah, someone else, because they are trying to fight for this post. Okay. So even if you are your husband, have got friends, they start talking now. Yeda mukadzi wenyu atoita ari kwakati ndoko akuchita right. Imi munobvumira mukadzi wenyu kuti aite izvozvo, why? Hamuzivi here kuti ifield vakadzi vasina kumira zvakanaka, ifield yenzenza, ifield yekuti mukadzi wenyu muchamushaya, mukadzi wenyu achachinja, mukadzi wenyu will go out there utanga kusangana nevamwe vanhu, then you mark our words, you are going to be divorced with your wife. That's what other men are saying. So those challenges with your husband out there, comes home ato fed up kudhara, ukangoita ka mistake, ndo saka zviri kunzi munodai, ndo zvamunoita zvematongerwe nyika izvi, hatimbozvida hazvidi vakadzi, you know, something like that.
Yeah, I'm sure that is a challenge. We will continue with that. What about in your experiences?
All right, thank you very much. What I will say is, yes, there have been challenges like character assassination, hate speech, intimidation, and negative publicity. Yes. That is the main challenge that we face as female candidates. But as for me, in the community, I've been in the community for a long time, and I've been doing zvinobatika, zvinoonekwa nevanhu. Saka that's why manzwa ndataura kuti vanhu vari kuti we are ready for this election. This is the time we need to vote for someone watinoziva kuti anokwanisa kuti itira zvinhu zvinobatika, someone who can represent us, because ndo zvinongodiwa nevanhu. They just want someone who can be the voice on their behalf. So I've done a lot in the community in terms of development. I've also done some empowerment projects for the women, and also I've done some empowerment projects again for our youth. But there are a number of things that we also need to do once the quads and the community want to vote and appeal more office, because there are a lot of things that needs to be done.
All right, we will continue in a bit. We'll take a short break, then go away. Welcome back to this special program brought to you by ZenPapers Television Network in partnership with Women Reform Network. Our topic of discussion today is March by-elections. Are female candidates ready? Now, in our first segment, we just had a brief description of the experiences that women are facing in community, with this build-up towards the by-elections. And my host in studio, as I highlighted earlier, we are joined by Betty Nambo from ZANU-PF, Fatima Madamombe, MDC Alliance, and we've just been joined by Susan Matsunga from the Citizens Coalition for Change. Thank you, ladies. Welcome, Susan. So in our first segment, we left off when we were discussing some of the challenges that female candidates have been experiencing in society. And of course, Betty also then highlighted some of the solutions that we can have, in terms of addressing this, this issue. So we can start with you, Susan, in this segment. In your view and in your experience during this campaign period towards the March by-elections, what has been the general sentiment from the communities and, of course, your experience as a female candidate?
Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. As a female candidate, in high-density suburb, it's not easy to become a candidate. Some people, they think that when you are a politician, you are someone who is radical, you are someone who is violent, but that's not it. It's just a calling. Because what I believe, what I understand is, leaders are born to be leaders. Leaders are not made. So I think viewers must understand that when you are a leader, you are born to be a leader. And I can give an example of myself. Okay. We got so many challenges. Our colleagues as male candidates, they don't understand. They give you names, they label you, but I myself, I don't listen to those ones. I continue doing my work. Why I choose to be a candidate for Fagosa constituents beside the political affiliation as a women candidate. If you look right now at the situation we are facing, with the current situation, women are the most affected people. Okay. With the current situation. Okay. So I said to myself, yes, I can be one who can stand for the rights of the women. That's why I'm here as a candidate, and I'm ready. I'm ready.
Okay, fair and fine. Earlier, Fatima mentioned some of the issues that you'd come across in society, where you have people name calling, and in some cases they start asking you, who's your husband? Does your husband know about this? Are you married? And so forth. And what can you say to, viewers, people in the community? We are trying to reach a stage in society when we say we have made progress from where we were standing 10, 15, 20 years ago. What can you say in terms of trying to address these misconceptions?
Yeah, my message to the viewers is when you are a leader, he or she's just born to be a leader, whereby she's a single mother, she's a divorced woman, whereby she's married, it's just the same. Viewers, they need to understand one thing. When you have the capacity to lead, and when you are a leader, it's not all about education, it's all about you were born to be a leader. So they need to understand that when you are in politics, doesn't mean that they've got the right to give you different names, all sorts of names, hatred, bullying, such things like that. What I understand, if even in our community, in our families, there are politics. Politics is everywhere. So you don't have to boo other women when they are contesting, when they are exercising their rights. They have to understand, even in churches, people give names to single mothers. In churches. So what more about politics? So to viewers, they need to understand that even at childhood, people will give you names. At teenage age, people will give you names. So to my colleagues outside there, I just say, don't listen to anyone. I focus nezvinhu zvangu zvandoda kuita. So don't listen to anyone. Yeah, people were born to just label, to just give names when it comes to campaign. But when there's no election, they are quiet. When it comes to election, they give you names. But what I understand, for the electorate, they now understand better than those people who will be busy labeling, give you names. So I'm saying to viewers, you can give names, but when the calling is there, you can't remove that calling and you can't remove that blessing. People will just vote even if you give us names.
Okay. Still with, politics, the elections, the campaigns. My next question, I'll ask you, Fatima. We have been saying there's the issue of name calling and all of that, but also we have had reports of women saying, we feel unsafe during election period. We feel unsafe during campaign periods. In your view, is this still on the ground in society? And have you experienced where you can say, a certain part of the community, I'm not safe?
Yeah, I think it's still happening, but for me, I say, there is danger somewhere. Sad constituents mangu, people they like me, ndikasvikawo tinongotaura nemunhu wongoti ndakajaira kana kufamba kana kuchechi, ndinoenda kuchechi stereki, saka nguva dzimwe tinenge tiri kuchechi kana usiku saka ndingori munhu ndofunga kuti ndakangoti handityi, pamwe kana kuripa vanenge vachida kutondityisidzira, pamwe vanongofunga kuti ava vanenge vasingaiti, I don't know, because hangu inini handityi, ndongofamba initi chero zvandiri kuita zvacho kana ndikazvipedza na 1 AM tichifanirwa kuenda kumba kwangu, I still go home, ndinoenda kumba kwangu ende ndisingambotarisi kana wakati pfuko uri masure mangu, ndongoti iwe uyakwei inini am going. So ndiri munhu asingatyi, handina hangu fear. So ndofunga ndozvinoita kuti ndifunge kuti hakuna hamu even kana ndiri wherever I am.
Okay. And Betty, what are your views with this regard?
Okay, thank you very much. It's very true. It's happening, and I think and feel that there should be legislative frameworks and also mechanism to be put in place to protect female candidates from forms of violence anoitika communities. Because I agree with my colleagues here, it's happening. You are given names and all sorts of labels, but the only solution is to come up with mechanisms, policies, just to protect madzimai kuti vagone kushanda, because we also want to increase our numbers in parliament. So I think, in my view, that's what needs to be done.
Okay. Still with, when we're trying to make a change with policy level legal frameworks, according to the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission, we only have 16 women participating in this by-election. And what are your views in that? Because we are trying to say we're trying to achieve these many goals, but when we have very little representation, how does that work in our advantage?
Remember earlier on I mentioned the issue of intimidation, hate speech, bad publicity. Most of madzimai vakaona zvinhu zvakadaro vanomva vatya, vovhunduka, votadza kuparticipate fully. It's only us vanenge vakasimba who are very brave and bold, who will say no. What I want is to make sure that I represent Mangwe Madzimai. Coming from a background, Kunzi, I'm a former model, and I'm also a business person. Ndingadai ndiri kuita business rangu ndisiri politics. Ndingadai ndiri kuita maybe beauty pageants ndisiri politics. But we discovered that there is a gap which needs to be closed, because some people, they believe kuti politics ndedze vakura, politics ndedze varume. So we are saying we need to change that mindset so that even the young girls who are out there can also participate in politics, because there are some positions aripo anonida kuti even isusu the young generation tinge tiripo tichipusha kuitira kuti contribute to the economy of this country. So that's my thinking.
Okay, thank you very much, Betty. I'll direct the next question to you, Susan. You know, we have been discussing this issue of safety of women in elections and campaign periods, but now we are saying we have very little representation. And like Betty also highlighted, it's because some might feel intimidated, but at the end, we're trying to achieve the same goal. What are your thoughts when we're saying we have only 16 candidates for these by-elections?
Yeah, it's very true. I think my contribution will be like Betty's contribution, as long as we don't have the policy which supports women in parliament, even the law itself. I think the problem yakaitika backwards chidzokera kumashure, hatina mutemo unonyatsotsigira madzimai, because you find with most of the women outside politics, they think that those ones who are in politics, like what I mentioned at the first, they are radical, they are violent. But for example, myself, I look at it and I saw that there is a big gap which needs to be filled, because we can't continue run campaigning for a male candidate while at least I can do it as a young female. So we got a big job outside there, because tinema young female candidates, they want to participate, but at the end of the day, they fear. Why? Male candidates, vangorine hatred, yavana each and every time. But I myself, I told to myself, andivunduke mtsindo ebete. When I'm contesting with a man,
okay, I
don't fear. Why? When it comes to campaign, we are the majority on the ground. We are the majority. Tisu tinevana ma youth atinenge tinopa ground. If you look at it, kwese kunema male candidates, you will find that 95% of the campaigning team, a male candidate, it's women and youth. We are the majority, and I believe we can. But what we need, my wish is that both of my candidates, if we win, we will push to come up with a law, with a policy, which empower women. Because at the end of the day, some they said, yes, now yesterday you were in paper, tomorrow you're in paper, next year you're in paper. So where is the support for the women? And the women now, they end up having fear just to communicate even with the journalist. Because today you communicate with a journalist, and tomorrow if you look the story, hey, it's a lot of hatred. So most of the women, they now fear to engage with journalists. But it's not that. We need advocates within, even those ones varimo mu parliament, ma female candidates vagara vatorimo right now, to push for this policy yekuti inoita empower. And the issue yekuti matinogara, are we free? Yes, somewhere we are free, but somewhere we are not free. Because male candidates, vane hatred. I don't know, when it comes to election, they just use hate language. Vachingotaura zvakasiyana-siyana zveku demoralize. Even the moral yako yekuti you'll be pulled down to an extent yekuti ndiri mumwe munhu, for example, ndopesera ndati inini rega ndisiye. But I told to myself on the 26th of January, I'm not going back. I've done it. Nomination court, and I'm going ahead. And I have the faith that with the energy I'm using on the ground, I'm going to win. Same to my colleagues. Just have that faith. Because if you continue to have the negative side, we are not going anywhere. And the bigger percent of women in Zimbabwe, their eyes, their faith, they are believing in us as women candidates.
Okay, I'll just cut you off there. I mean, we have been highlighting over and again that we want to have certain policies and legal frameworks in government that, you know, support women. But now my question to the floor is, in as much as we are working towards achieving this Kanata in Parliament, like you say, we also have females that are in Parliament right now and we want them to be pushing. But what about tackling it from grassroots level? Kuva pachezhedu kuti in communities, in our political parties, in our political spheres, Trukita say kuti tiite raise awareness to everyone, to say, you know what, it's a new era, it's a new dawn, and we want women to also take charge. Let's start with you, Fatima. In our communities and in our political parties, how in societies, how are you guys dealing with this? I think
what we need now is to empower women. We have to empower people, because women, they know, but they are not empowered. They are afraid. So what we need to do, we have to talk with women, youths, even small, young ladies, to empower them that you are people. You can do it. Don't be afraid. Don't be threatened. You know, if we don't empower, you watch vakangochanga vacho ndovachangogara ende vinenge tichingopera, but we need kutangira pasi chaipo chaipo kutoti vana vachitanga kuita kutoimpawiwa vari pasi chaipo chaipo, like ina hangu ndinoshanda mucommunity, you know, ndinongoshanda nevana ndinoita sei. But most of the times vandinoita ndezvokuti kazhinji mitemo inenge yabva kuparliament ye iti vana children's rights chichi, we go kana maschools ndichinotaura nemateachers ndichitipe vana ava ndichivatadzidzisa zviya zvokutaura kuti kana mwana ukamubvunza kuti right yako ndiyanotaura kuti ukandibata pandisingaite ndokusungisai. You know, that is what we need. Kana kumadzimai, madzimai ngaaimpower, even varume vacho vanofanirwa kuti vaimpowerwe, vazive kuti chero mukadzi akasikwa Mwari vakati ndakuitira mubatsiri akakwana. That's what the Bible says. Ndakuitira mubatsiri akakwana. Saka tiri vabatsiri vakakwana, hatizi vahafu vabatsiri, titori vabatsiri vakaita sei vakakwana. Isusu semadzimai, we must be brave, we must stand up for ourselves, we must fight for our rights. The constitution ndotomboenda because yakatotaura kuti 50-50, ngatiite 50-50 kuparliament. But izvozvi, let's go out there toti kurudiwa vakadzi vanoda kuita kuparliament ku50. I'm telling you, you never get them. Unongowana henyu nabhiti nasister. Because this tiri kuziva zvazvinoreva, this tiri kuziva zvatinoda. Anditi vamwe vachingoti chambotanga ndaenda kuna baba, chambonzwa kuti baba vanoti kudii, this nyaya yekuti baba vanoti kudii, ende varume vacho ngavazivewo kuti kana ndine zvandafunga ka, let's sit down. Mwandibvunzwawo kuti mambozviona sei mazvida, ndokutsanangurirai kuti izvi ndazvida, izvi nokuti ndoda kusunungura vamwe vakadzi vari kunzewo, ndoda kubatsirawo vabi angu vakadzi vachangamuke. Kwete kungoti tichati tazonzwa kuti baba vanoti iko, ugotobvunda ndokutotaura muromo wokuti baba vanoti, utokutyisa kutaura. We don't want that. Women must be empowered. Youths must be empowered. Vasikana vana vadiki vechikoro, even from grade 0 che mwana enga abva angoita sei. That's why muchiona kana vana vadiki vachiabuswa. Ma-abuses anowanda kuvana vadiki because akagara pamwe akasiva kuna asekuru ikoko, asekuru vaive vanongofunga kuti zvese izvi zvinhu zvangu ava vesava property yangu, ma-objects kwavari. Saka we must empower vanhu, to empower vanhu, even men kuti vaempower kuti we are not your objects. No, we are people.
Thank you, Fatima. And Betty, in your view, how do we tackle this from ground level? We have been talking about empowerment for so many years now, but are we reaching our goals? Are we managing to infiltrate into the communities, into society? And not just communities and society, like I said, even in our political parties as well. Are the men aware of what we are trying to do? But of course, you can give me your views.
All right. What I think is our political parties should take a strong and public stance in terms of training our people. And also, I think there are times where you find kuti vamwe vedu vatinavo vatiri kushanda navo havasi kuunderstanda what we want to achieve and where we are going semadzimai. So my political leaders edu, I think vakatora that stance yekuti those vanenge vaonekwa vachiita zvisirizvo, they can be punished. I'm sure kuti zvimwe zvinhu zvinogona kubatsira kureduce violence and intimidation kumadzimai, zvichizotibatsira kuti manumbers emadzimai agone kuti awande muma communities. So panonida a vigorous awareness in the community, electorate ichidzidziswa kuti what men can do, women can also do. Zvinhu zvandinofunga kuti zvinogona kutibatsira as well, because what I've noticed is, I'm sure you can agree with me, His Excellency the President of Republic of Zimbabwe, ndiri kuona maboards muri kupinda madzimai, ndiri kuona zvakare kumaministers uku kuri kubatwa madzimai ari kupinda zvakare. So I think zvakungoda kuti vanhu vachingoratidzwa kuti from the top vari kurecognize madzimai. Saka even kana tiri paground mucommunity, people should also recognize kuti madzimai they can do better. In my constituency, I don't have much problem because issue yekuti zvinoitwa nevakadzi hazvikwanise kuitwa nevarume kwandiri hazvishande, because I've done what men cannot do on the ground, especially kana vavhoterwa. Mukacheka maconstituencies mazhinji ane madzimai, motarisa mashandiro anoita madzimai nemashandiro anoita varume akatosiyana. Isusu madzimai, once we are voted in, tinobva taramba takaita community engagement, toramba tiri muvanhu tichibatsira, dzingave nhamo tinenge tirimo, dzingave nherera dziri kushaya chikafu, dziri kuda hembe, isusu semadzimai tiripo kuti tibatsire. So I just think kuti gone are the days ataifunga kuti varume chete ndo vanokwanisa kuita zvinhu. Inini semudzimai I can also go kumine, ndinokwanisa kuendawo kunoita construction, ndichitovakawo sezviri kuitawo vamwe varume. Saka I think macommunities edu anoda kuti vange vachipiwa dzidzo yekuti vazive kuti mudzimai can do better than zvinotoitwa nevarume. And also the issue yema-hate speech ndo imwe inozoita kuti for example, inini I'm married, and when you are married, I'm going
to have to cut you short. We are running out of time. Maybe before we leave, just probably your last comments. Just want to touch briefly on the quota system. Of course, the government of Zimbabwe has, given this provision to help encourage women to participate in positions of power in governing the country. But can we say we have achieved a number of our goals? We know we have some women complaining kuti kana tiri parliament tikutukwa tikunzi bagosi tikunzi mungorichi. But going forward, can we say this was a good move for us? And do we see more women coming up as a result of this quota system? We'll start with you, Susan, if you can just be as briefly as possible.
In short, yeah, it's difficult when you are in parliament under PR seat. At the same time, because we were asking for 50%. But the issue is, when you are in parliament under PR seat, I don't know the hate speech, the one we were talking about. Male candidates, they always think that. But at Senate, there are male candidates who are in under zebra. You get my point? But at the end of the day, taita problem yekuti zviri nani kurembera pane kudonha. But the issue is, I need to be empowered in a constituency. Azviswera kuti madzimai ari mupr avagoni kuita. Women can do it. We can do it. But the reason yekuti masikirwo nekwatakabva, where we came from, there are some people who have that mentality yekuti mwanasikana ndewe pasi, mwana mukomana ndiye ainge achipuwa access to education, access to everything. Mwana musikana are a full day houseworker, of which we are saying gone are the days. This generation, we need women to stand up. We need women to come from different political parties. I'm happy through my political party, Triple C Coalition Citizens, we have the police in Echekwita, 50% plus. But here comes the problem. those who are still outside, they've got the fear. Nezvese zvavanenge vachiona zvichiitika zvichibuda musocial media, Betty namo azodai, but she's married. But munhu ane mutemo wecyberbullying, I think unofana kushanda. Why ndiri kudaro? Munoona Honorable Betty Kaseke vachitukwa, and the people know that she's married, but they are tarnishing image yekuti even mararamiro ake ari mukati memba. You understand what I'm saying? Even if your husband is a politician, even if your husband is not a politician, but people will continue giving you names.
I know, I get that. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to cut you short. Fatima, if you could just add on probably just a few seconds, Tivad.
Yeah, I just want to say, women out there, viewers, women, we must stand up for ourselves. We must be empowered. We must do what we are supposed to do. We are enough. Takatokwana zvakadai vakadzi vachaiva zvakatokwana. And semadzimai ngavarege kutya. Ukasusa chinhu chako famba nacho nokuti chinhu chitsva chinoita se chinonetsa. But famba nacho. And then ndiri parliament izvozvi vari kutaura nenyaya yekuti kune kucancel kuri kudiwa zve50 nyaya yekunzi kupiwa. Let us contest masitsi acho. Toda kucontesta. We want to contest them. Kwete zvokuti muzotituka muchiti hema kangopiwa. No, we can contest and we can win. Beta akawina one. Handiti. Saka let us contest also. Zvokuti zopiwa uchisitukirwa izvozvo no. Ngazvingopere zvakadaro. Unonzi azvipiko izvi. Hapana vatakatopawo. Handiti. Even iko kuchemba kwacho. Tinoda kunyatsoona kutiwo ngavasimbise. Kwete zvokuti 30%. We don't want 30%. We want 50%. Ndozvokutaura constitution. Even kuma top positions, we want to see women up there. And vakadzivo vanenge vari ikoko, come down. Tisimudzewo vakadzi. Ngatibatanei, ngatidananei, let's love each other. Kwete kuti unongoita kuti hey nokuti akuzodada. No, unenge usiri kudada. Beta munoona akachichenerwa. Kana akandoti ona zvakaita abatodada. No, ari kudada ero. Hasi kudada. Ngatingoonane, ngatingodanane madzimai. Let's find each other. Let's love each other. Let's support each other. And
Thank you very much, Fatima. Thank you very much. Unfortunately, that's all the time we had for you today. You were watching this program brought to you by ZimPaper Television Network in partnership with Women Reform Network. Our topic of discussion was March by-elections. Are female candidates ready? I was joined in studio by Betty Nambu from ZANU-PF, Fatima Madamombe from MDC Alliance, and Susan Matsunga from Citizens Coalition for Change. Thank you very much, ladies. Thank you for joining us. Have a good day.